This is Jazz 313 with a special promotion with the guy who loves Fords. Could you tell us your name and tell us about this baby of yours?
My name is Tim Gregory, and what I own here is a 1956 Ford Crown Victoria. In 1956, this car was the most expensive Ford built, and there were only 9,000 of these cars ever built.
How much was it back in
1956, this car sold for right around $2,800. And like I said, there were only 9,000 ever built, most expensive Ford built in 56. And it was the car of the year for 1956.
So
car of the year.
So how many of these, tell me, how did you get so excited about the 56 Ford Fairlane?
When I was about 13 years old, my dad bought a car on a Friday. And because we lived out near Dundee in the country, you had to have a car to drive to work, because everything was, if you didn't have a car, you couldn't get anywhere. It was country. And he bought a car on a Friday, and the dealer said, well, there's a few items that need to be adjusted on the car, so I'll call you when it's ready. So I was too young to realize what kind of car it was, didn't really think about it much. So Saturday came and went, and the dealer never called me. And Sunday, my dad was getting kind of upset, a little worried, because he hadn't heard from the dealer and didn't know if you'd have to try to call somebody to get a ride to work. And so he was pacing the floor a few times and wondering what to do and not sure what to do. So about 7 o'clock Sunday evening, I just happened to look outside, and I saw this 1956 Ford, red and black, coming down toward our house. And behind the car, now this was in, I think, 1964, so the car was a few years old, but it was new to us. I didn't know it was our car. I just happened to see this car coming down the road, and there was another brand new car behind it. So it pulled into our driveway, and I was just amazed.
So could you tell us what's inside the engine and what have you done inside that engine?
Okay, this is what's called a 312 Thunderbird Special. And the reason why that is called that Thunderbird Special is because in 1950, 55, 56, and 57, Ford put these same engines in a Thunderbird. And this was the high-class engine for the sports car of that era. And to make this car the premier car in 56, they used that same engine for this car. This was one of the faster cars and the premier car for Ford Motor Company.
So what about the paint? What is that the original paint? Explain.
The car, the original paint, and the white is called Colonial White, and the other color is called Peacock Blue.
Peacock Blue.
This is the original color for this car for 1956.
And the white walls with the tires, that's something.
These were the original white wall type of tires for 1956.
So would you take us inside the cabin and show us some of the unique features? Do you have air conditioning or power windows, or was that around back in the day?
As far as power windows were there, but this car didn't have power. This didn't come with the power windows. But this was the first year that Ford put air conditioning in cars.
Wow.
And this car has power steering, and it has back then in the 50s, everything was an option. Carpeting, sun visors, a radio, heater was even an option.
A heater was an option?
Heater was an option in these cars. So when you ordered a car, you had to order all of those options. And this car comes with the back seat. It comes with dual speakers, and it has an armrest in the back seat. There were only about 3 or 4 options.
So you was telling me these cars was named 3 different names. So could you show the audience, and not just that, let's talk about the names, and then we'll talk about this chrome. I didn't realize how much chrome was on this.
This was called a Ford Fairlane, but because of the significance of this car and the crown across the roof, this is called a crown. This tiara is what they call it across the roof. This was called a crown, and that's what it says here, Crown Victoria.
Wait a minute, Crown Victoria.
Crown Victoria.
So that's where the name come from.
Right, and there it says that's what it says there, Crown Victoria, because of the tiara.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So back in the day when they had the Crown Victoria for the police cars, that's where they got their name
That's where
from.
they got the name.
So this trunk, let's go back and look at this trunk and this bumper. I mean, that is amazing. I mean, that trunk is, you could put a couch in that baby. It seems
Exactly.
like.
Now, if you notice the license plate,
Okay.
this is an original Michigan 1956 license plate that I had registered. I found that license plate from someone who bought all of the license plates from Lansing that hadn't been issued for that year, and he sat on it for like 40 years. And he had that one, has the year of the car, the license plate, the license plate, the year of the car.
So what did you get the white walls? I see that tire is new. I'm looking.
Exactly. Well, there are tire companies in the country that you can buy original type tires for these cars. They're not cheap. They run about $340.
What would be the one unique thing about this car? So how long have you owned this particular
I've
car?
owned this car for 26 years.
Wow, 26 years. So do you ride it just at special events, or do you ride it every day? Or
Oh no, I mostly car shows, but I'll take it to car shows in Chicago. It's been to Toronto.
how many trophies have this baby won you?
Oh, I've
Ribbons.
probably got upwards of about 70, 75 awards.
So Tanzo Ford.
That was a car dealer that is no longer in business, but that's where my dad bought his 56 Ford. So I put that license plate frame on this car.
So is there any more unique things you can tell us about the Crown Victoria Fairlane Ford 1955, 1956? Is any unique stories that most people don't know?
Yes. I would say maybe when the movie Gran Torino came out in the theaters, that was about 10, 12 years ago.
Yes.
I was here on Woodward Avenue, and I was interviewed by his production crew. They were looking for people to tell their story about their car and what it meant to them. And I was interviewed, and I was told that they were interviewing hundreds of people that day, and that it probably would be unlikely for my interview to make the CD, the DVD rather. And so I didn't think much about it, but I did mention, they interviewed me for about 45 minutes, and I mentioned my dad, the fact that he was the first one that bought a car that I had never seen like this, and I swore I would have one day.
Okay, well, let's go on this other side. And guess what? Let me tell you something. This is a Jazz 313 special. We're looking at this Crown Victoria right here, passenger side. I want you to just stand and open up the door and let them see how beautiful and opulent this vehicle is. And thank you for giving me your time. I mean, you don't know how much we appreciate this. So you and your wife, you guys down here, and just, I'm looking at the floor mat. That's a custom floor mat, or how did you get that floor mat?
You can buy those. They are designed for this particular car.
So if you can bring that floor mat out and try to explain the symbolism or the shield, I'm sure you have it in there.
This was the original Ford emblem.
Wait a minute. That's the Ford emblem?
That's the Ford emblem.
Before the blue oval.
Before the blue oval. This is what it looked like.
So what would you tell my audience today about the Woodard Cruise, and why they should come down here, and why you have so much fun?
Well, if you're a car enthusiast, you're likely to see auto cars that you never will ever see in your life if you don't come here. The cars here that show up, they show up from all over the country. I've spoken to people from different countries that brought their cars in, and it is the best history lesson you'll ever find related to automobiles.
And again, listen, this is a passion project of mine. This is a passion project of, give me your name again, I'm sorry.
Tim Gregory.
Tim Gregory. Are you related to Dick Gregory?
No, but we spoke, and he's from St. Louis, and I'm not. So we spoke about that years ago. I met him when we talked about
But anyway,
that.
listen, Mr. Gregory, all of the Ford aficionados, this will be posted, uploaded tonight. Again, Jazz 313. If you like what we're doing, click, subscribe, and share. And I'm telling you, I'm very humble. These are some of my students in the background, if you're wondering. I told you I used to be a teacher. But anyway, Thank you again.
You're welcome.
And we'll see you again next time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I have